Hey guys, welcome back. For today's video, we're going to be talking about net neutrality. So net neutrality is a principle that internet service providers must treat all data on the internet the same and not discriminate or charge differently by user, content, website, platform, application, type of attached equipment, or method of communications. For instance, under these principles, internet service providers are unable to intentionally block, slow down, or charge money for specific websites and online content. Network neutrality is the principle that all internet traffic should be treated equally. Internet traffic includes all of the different messages, titles, and data sent over the internet, including, for example, texts, emails, digital audio files, digital video files, and things like that. According to Columbia Law professor Tim Wu, the best way to explain network neutrality is that a public information network will end up being most useful if all content, websites, and platforms, for example, this also includes mobile devices, video game consoles, etc. The best way is if they're all treated equally. A more detailed proposed definition of technical and service network neutrality suggests that service network neutrality is basically the loyalty to the paradigm that operation of a service at a certain layer is not influenced by any data other than the data interpreted by that layer, and in accordance with the protocol specification for that layer. Under an open internet schema, the full resources of the internet and means to operate on it should be easily accessible to all individuals, companies, and organizations. Applicable concepts include net neutrality, open standards, transparency, lack of internet censorship, and low barriers just to entry. The concept of open internet is sometimes expressed as an expectation of decentralized technological power, and it is seen by some observers as closely related to open source software, which is a type of software program whose maker allows users access to the code that runs a program so that the users can improve the software or fix bugs. Proponents of net neutrality see this as an important component of open internet, wherein policies such as equal treatment of data and open web standards allow those using the internet to easily communicate and conduct business and activities without interference from a third party. In contrast, a closed internet refers to the opposite situation, wherein established persons, corporations, or governments favor certain users, restrict access to necessary web standards, artificially degrade some services, or explicitly filter out content. Some countries block certain websites or types of sites and monitor or censor internet use using internet policy, which is a specialized type of law enforcement or secret police. The concept of a dumb network compromising dumb pipes has been around since at least the early 1990s. The term dumb network refers to a network which is set up but has little or no control or management by the way of users make use of the network. The term dumb pipes is analogous to water pipes used in a city water supply system. In theory, these pipes provide a steady supply of water to all users, regardless of the identity of the user or the user's activities with the water. In a dumb network, the endpoints are thought to be where the intelligence lies, and as such, proponents argue that the network should leave the management and operation of communications and data transfer to the end users, not a government bureau or internet company. In 2013, the software company Net Incorporated coined the term dumb wave, which is a 2010s era application of the dumb pipe concept to the ubiquitous wireless network. According to the end-to-end principle, protocol features are only justified in the lower layers of a system if they are a performance optimization. Hence, TCP retransmission for reliability is still justified, but efforts to improve TCP reliability should stop after peak performance has been reached. They argued that reliable systems tend to require end-to-end processing to operate correctly, in addition to any processing in the intermediate system. They pointed out that most features in the lowest level of a communication systems have costs for all higher layer clients, even if those clients do not need the features and are redundant if the clients have to re-implement the features of an end-to-end basis. This leads to the model of a minimal dumb network with smart terminals, a completely different model from the previous paradigm of the smart network with dumb terminals. Because the end-to-end principle is one of the central design principles of the internet, and because the practical means for implementing data discrimination violate the end-to-end principle, the principle often enters discussions about net neutrality. The end-to-end principle is closely related and sometimes seen as a direct precursor to the principle of net neutrality. Traffic shaping is a control of computer network traffic to optimize or guarantee performance, improve latency, and/or increase usable bandwidth by delaying packets that meet certain criteria. In practice, traffic shaping is often accomplished by throttling certain types of data, such as streaming video or P2P file sharing. More specifically, traffic shaping is any action on a set of packets which imposes additional delay on those packets, such as that they conform to some predetermined constraint. Traffic shaping provides a means to control the volume of traffic being sent to a network in a specified period, or the maximum rate at which the traffic is sent, or more complex criteria such as generic cell rate algorithm. If the core of a network has more bandwidth than it is permitted to enter at the edges, then good quality of service can be obtained without policing or throttling. For example, landline telephone network employs admission control to limit user demand on the network core by refusing to create a circuit for the requested connection. During a natural disaster, for example, most users will get a busy signal if they pick up a landline phone, as the phone company prioritizes 911 and other emergency calls. Over-provisioning is a form of statistical multiplexing that makes liberal estimates of peak user demand. Over-provisioning is used in private networks such as WebEx and the Internet to Abilene Network as American University Network. Discrimination by protocol is a favoring or blocking information based on aspects of the communications protocol that the computers are using to communicate. In the U.S., a complaint was filed at the Federal Communications Commission against the cable provider Comcast, alleging that they had illegally inhibited users of its high-speed internet service from using the popular file-sharing software BitTorrent. Comcast admitted no wrongdoing in its prospered settlement of up to $16 per share in December of 2009. However, a U.S. appeals court ruled in April 2010 that the FCC exceeded its authority when it sanctioned Comcast in 2008 for deliberately preventing some subscribers from using peer-to-peer file-sharing devices to download large files. Despite the ruling in favor of Comcast, a study by Measurement Lab in October 2011 verified that Comcast had virtually stopped its BitTorrent throttling practices. During the 1990s, creating a non-neutral internet was technically infeasible. Originally developed to filter harmful malware, the internet security company NetScreen Technologies released network firewalls in 2003 with so-called deep packet inspections capabilities. Deep packet inspection helped make real-time discrimination between different kinds of data possible, and is often used for internet censorship. In a practice called zero rating, companies will reimburse data use from certain addresses, favoring use of those services. Examples include Facebook Zero and Google Free Zone. These zero rating practices are especially common in the developing world. Sometimes internet service providers, ISPs, will charge some companies but not others for the traffic that they cause on the ISP's network. French telecom operator Orange, complaining that traffic from YouTube and other Google sites consists of roughly 50% of total traffic on the Orange network, made a deal with Google in which they charged Google for the traffic incurred of the Orange network. Proponents of net neutrality argue that without new regulations, internet service providers would not be able to favor their own private protocols over others. ISPs are able to encourage the use of specific services by utilizing private networks to discriminate what data is counted against bandwidth caps. For example, Comcast struck a deal with Microsoft that allowed users to stream television through the Xfinity app on their Xbox 360s without it affecting their bandwidth limit. However, utilizing other television streaming apps such as Netflix, HBO Go, and Hulu counted towards the limit. Comcast denied that this infringed on net neutrality principles since it runs its Xfinity for Xbox service on its own private internet protocol network. Pro-net neutrality arguments have also noted that regulations are also necessary due to research that has shown low tolerance to slow-loading content providers. In a 2009 research study conducted by Forrester Research, online shoppers expected the web pages they visited to download content instantly. When a page fails to load at the expected speed, many of them simply just leave the page. A study found that even a 1-second delay could lead to 11% fewer page views, a 16% decrease in number satisfaction, and a 7% loss. So that concludes our video on net neutrality.